All right, seeing as it's now 4 o'clock, I'll call this meeting to order. Before we get started, we recognize that Prince Albert is located within Treaty 6 territory and is on the homeland of Dakota and Métis. We extend our respect to all Indigenous peoples for their valuable past and present contributions and recognize and respect the cultural diversity within the city of Prince Albert. Thank you. If I can get Mayor Dion. Thank you. It's the first time, so it's ready for your vote. Open, sorry. It's not open for you. And I vote, yeah, right there. Oh. Sorry. I messed up already. There we go. And flashed. And motion passes. Thank you. Next up on our agenda, we do have declaration of conflict of interest. I think all of us in the chamber know what that is. Is there any way to declare today? No, I see none. Adoption of minutes.
So moved.
Thank you. The vote is open, sorry. Okay, next up on our agenda, we do have delegations, which we have none today. And moving on to consent agenda, is there any items that people would like to pull? Councillor Miller.
Thank you. 6.1 and 6.2, please.
Thank you. Any others? I see none. Oops. Oh, sorry, Tony, I didn't see you. Thank you. We got. I'm right there, right? No?
Yeah, it's just press the green button.
When they speak. Yeah. Sorry, the vote is open. And it passes. Thank you. Okay, so then we go to 6.1, concerns regarding the Victoria Hospital entrance on 10th Avenue West. Do I have someone who would like to speak to this?
I'll move the recommendation. However, I got a couple of questions for the report, I suppose. Or if somebody has any input of the parking lot, the new parking lot. Like, I need to know if there's going to be an exit and a entrance to that brand new parking lot or not, because they're having issues getting in and out of the one place they got to come out of, I suppose. And there's been a few mishaps as well. People getting ran over and stuff just about. So if anybody can, I know nobody here probably knows it.
Yeah, we'll have to get back to you with that information, Councillor Miller.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. Councillor Kilmer?
I'm just curious, and this might be a stretch off the topic, but is the parking lot owned by SHA?
City Manager?
Yes.
Mayor Dion?
Okay, but I just want to make sure that the parking lot though, But we're also looking at the main entrance. To me, I've sat up there the other day, and it's just a hodgepodge. I do know PCL is working on making sure that no construction people go in there, but that's part of the problem because they're whipping out of there, so they are gonna do a different kind of entranceway. So I just wanna make sure that that's not lost too, because to me, the biggest issue is that main intersection, because we come up that hill and around the curve, and we're moving, so, thank you.
City Manager?
We will ensure everything is included in the report.
Thank you. The vote is open. One more? Oh, it was me. And I pressed it. Okay, thank you. And the motion passes. Six point two, the concerns regarding conditional church located at 1717A MacArthur Drive. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Chair. A few concerns also. I haven't been in contact with the church, but I do know that Fire and Bylaw were working on this file, and at one point, there was a couple of fires, and there's children locked away in very low part of the school. I think it was the gym part that they got rescued from. And also, I noticed that there was little flags around, so I'm thinking the city did something there already with bylaw or something. So I was thinking that maybe we're in different kind of steps of demolishing the building. I'm not sure, but that would be great if it would come back and refer to the department and to see whereabouts we are at with being demolished, I suppose. It's a complete eyesore to the neighborhood that looks upon it and sees it every day. And they're tired of the children going in and out of the situation. And sooner or later, something terrible will happen there. So if that could be looked after. So I guess it would be saying, report back. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Miller. I'm just going to go to the city solicitor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and through to Councillor Miller's question. Bylaw enforcement and planning have been working on this particular location for some time now. It has been quite a problem. There's about $7,000 of, and fire, I should say as well, about $7,000 of total costs that have gone into boarding this facility. We have been working through the city solicitor's office with those departments on a more permanent and holistic solution. There has been a demolition order that has been served. Demolition, though, because there's asbestos in the bricks, has a very, very high cost. I think it's estimated at about $650,000. This building has a mortgage on it as well that is current. We've talked to the bank, and it is current, but it adds to the costs of doing something with it. I'm not at liberty right now to advise publicly at the request of a rather exceptional community partner with the city who is interested in the building. And we have been, as recently as today, negotiating with them to look to have a more responsible owner purchase the property at a very reasonable value at cost to the current owner clearing the title. So the building itself would be repurposed by a very credible community partner. So we're looking at moving forward to close that deal probably towards the end of the month.
That's really interesting to know. before all of the fires that occurred in that place, I have been in there and seen the deplorable situation that's going on in that there. Thinking that it's probably gonna cost a lot of money for renovations of that situation.
This owner has money, has received funding already to purchase the building and has a second tranche of funding available to it next year for considerable renovations. They have engaged professionals that have walked through with them, and so they do have professional community contractors already that have advised them. So it's if we can close the loop on this, it's a very constructive solution for the community and for that area.
Interesting for me to find out here.
It's very recent in terms of the developments.
Thank you. Councillor Head?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and thank you, City Solicitor, for those responses. I know this isn't the only property that has similar issues like this, so this is, seems more regularly within our city. Happy, that this resolve could be a positive one for the neighborhood, hearing what you stated. But I guess my question more is to the city manager. Do we have an incentive or some sort of policy coming forward around these kind of properties within our community? Will we be seeing that soon?
City manager.
We are looking at some incentives in regards to various lots. For example, our dollar lots. There are a number of things that we're looking at, and they will be coming forward soon.
Thanks for that. Yeah, no, I suspect, again, this owner isn't the only one that kind of sees these issues in our neighborhood. I know within our ward, we're finding a bunch of challenges as well with these properties. So looking forward to that policy. Thanks for that. And thanks for the response, City Solicitor.
Thank you, Councillor Head. Councillor Edwards? Oops. There we go.
Thank you, Chair. I do have some comments. It's really unfortunate that we get to these stages, and I don't know what needs to change, whether we need to lobby different, maybe the provincial government or something to change so we can order some of these organizations to reconstruct and make their property, livable and make the neighborhoods proper. This is a complete eyesore. Here we have one side of that building that is working their butts off, renovating and cleaning and making it look good. I've been in it, and they're doing a ton of work in there, and good work. And then we have this other side that's just left to shambles. And that's very unfortunate because that building, the walls have good structure. I was in it for a long, long time in that building and understand fully that the walls are good. And there's a lot of different opportunities, I think, for that building. But here we are, I think it's been going downhill for the last, I don't know, at least 5 years, if not 10, and we're in shambles in that side of things. So I don't know what we need to do to help speed up the process for bylaw, to help the enforcement of it, or what needs to be done, but I really hope that in the report coming, we can see what you guys need to help, because we've got to make some changes and we got to go for these changes, because it's time to make some of these eyesores in our community go away. It's holding the image of our community down, and it's time to get tough on them. All the boarded up housing, we're going to see hopefully a motion that's in place, hopefully that can pass in the near future, but we got to get tough on them because this is getting ridiculous, and our residents deserve better than what they're looking at on certain sites. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. Just one question for the Acting Director of Planning and Development. Do we have a timeline on how long this report might be? Oh, hold on. Just 1 second. And then I really messed it up here. Green? Okay.
Yeah, green doesn't mean go.
Okay, now we're ready.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just in response to that, just in consultation with the City Solicitor with how things are developing on this property, I'm sure we can have it for one of the, upcoming executive council meetings. But I would think that once we have more of the details, that would be a better time to share. So,
Thank you.
thanks.
Mayor Dion?
Well, I think what we have to do too is really rethink and review, should we allow these, I call them a co-op building, where they really let them cut in half and one sold to the other, and now the other didn't turn out, now the one that sold it is suffering, and so I think in the future that we have to really secure that if we're gonna do that, that the plan for the other is gonna be successful. And say maybe to the other side, sorry, we can't allow it because we don't think it's gonna be successful. I think we've learned a lesson here that when we have these buildings that are one, and we get application to split them in half and do two titles, that we should really, really have a hard look and a thought and not rush into making a decision to make sure that the plan for the other one's gonna work. Because I think that's what happened. They had good intentions, but it never did work. I don't even think it got off the ground. But we don't know because it's a private sale, it's not part of us. But I think in the future, that's what we have to do. We really have to scrutinize some of these applications.
Thank you for your comments. Is there any other discussion? I see none. We'll take it to the vote. Vote is now open. There we go. And the motion passes. We'll now move from the consent agenda into reports of administration and committees, and we'll turn the floor to the Director of Financial Services.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to present this afternoon in regards to the city's banking services. The City of Prince Albert has been in a banking agreement with the Affinity Credit Union since May 1st, 2016. The current contract with the Affinity Credit Union expired April 30th, 2021. The city has been operating on a month-to-month basis since 2021. The city earned $1.76 million in interest earnings in 2023 due to the influx in cash resulting from the additional borrowing in 2022 and 2023. We also paid $52,523 in service charges last year. In early 2024, the city issued a request for proposal to initiate a further review of our banking services. We received proposals from 6 different financial institutions, including the Affinity Credit Union, Bank of Montreal, CIBC, Royal Bank, Scotiabank, and the TD Bank. CIBC had the best offer in regards to the net value to the city, offering the city the second highest interest rate on our deposit amounts with the lowest service charges. They also included a very thorough implementation plan. In consideration of CIBC's request for proposal, the net value to the city will be approximately $604,000 yearly, assuming that the monthly average balance in the city's bank account remains consistently around $11 million. I can answer any questions that you might have.
Councillor Lennox Epp.
Oh, that's right, it's executive. It's actually not a question, it's a comment, so I think I'll wait until there's a motion.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Dion, just 1 second.
I'll move the recommendation.
Thank you. Go back to the comment. Councillor Lennox Epp.
Thank you. This is a bit of a difficult item for me. I see that the report does state that the CIBC is offering the city the second highest interest rate for deposit amounts and also the lowest service charges, and that is the best net value overall. weighing that against, you know, there are benefits to maintaining a relationship with a local credit union who, I see in the report, we don't have any major lapses or issues. That's not at all the reason for this proposal. And so although I respect the report and the net value is important as well, I was interested in how Affinity lined up in other areas as a local credit union that also supports our city.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you.
Sorry. There.
Thank you very much. My question is on the RFP, and I recognize that we have a bylaw or a strategy with RFPs that we've passed. What does sponsorship opportunity response mean?
So in the past, for example, the Affinity Credit Union has purchased a hole at the Cook Municipal Golf Course for, I believe it's $5,000 a year. So that would be a sponsorship opportunity.
So we do award 5 points, and this is just a bigger, not about this. I appreciate what you would put forward, and we'll support it. But I think in the future, I would really like to see the sponsorship opportunity response have a bit more weight.
Oh, okay.
Because when I take a look at this, I feel that the Affinity Credit Union received a 5. And I tried to recall in each of the items, things that I've been to where there's been employees donating their time or them donating. And, you know, it's not fresh in my mind. So I do think that if we have within our RFPs that information and that we weigh it a bit more for the future, I think it would have greater impact. We're a small community, and I think that that's an important measure. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
Thank you. Have we been with the CIBC in the past?
Yes, we have. No, we were with CIBC when I first started here. We went to the Bank of Montreal. Now we're with Affinity. So it really changes a lot. This is a pretty common process. Well, I've been here 34 years, and this will be my 4th bank. So that's pretty good. And does that have some value to change banking? To me, it seems like it's a little backwards. I can say it's a lot of work to change banks. Yeah, I have some concerns with the change, although saving money is a good thing. But customer service is a good thing too, and I'm not sure how that's going to vary. Maybe it'll be good with the CIBC, but when I read we've been extremely happy with the services received from the Affinity Credit Union, that was the first thing that sent flags in my mind, that a change may not be necessary. Now, I don't know whether we can go against that because it's been tendered out. So those are my comments. I do have some concerns with changing from Affinity. I do know that they help give back a lot to the community, maybe more so. I might be wrong on that, but maybe. And those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards. Mayor Dion.
Well, and I do agree, but there's two things. 650,000 net savings is a big number. We're not talking 10,000, 50 net value. But I also want to remind everyone, when we talk about sponsorship program, and this comes to mind, is I remember a few years ago we had that hockey night in Canada out in front of the Art Hauser Center. Well, our biggest sponsor was the bank of CIBC, was the biggest sponsor there. They gave out thousands of sweaters and gave us cash and fed. So they each sort of get their turn. And at the end of the day, it's got to be a value to us. It'd be nice to always have the same bank, but in our world where we have to be keepers of the city's money, we have to take the best value that we can, and we did the process, and that's why I moved the motion. We did the process and on the point system that we have today, and they want it.
Thank you. Counselor Cody, just 1 second.
Yeah, I betcha. Just a quick question. I noticed that Connexus isn't on here. Were they invited or did they just not bid?
They didn't bid.
Seems so funny that Connexus wouldn't bid. They're larger than Affinity by quite a lot. And you'd wonder why they wouldn't take a leap at this. That it just seems queer that Connexus wouldn't, because if there's anybody that does a lot of local sponsorships, it's Connexus. They probably do more than Affinity does. And that would have been certainly a bank I would like to see, but it's okay for me to go this way, but I'd prefer to stick with the credit union, which is a bunch of local folks looking after local people's money, and rather than some corporation that probably gets more out of Montreal and Toronto and Vancouver than they do out of the city of Prince Albert, and they'll give more back too. You can be rest assured of that. So but I have to go along with what Mona says. If she says it's a better deal, then it's a better deal, and if that's the case, then that's what we have to go with.
Thank you for comments. Are there any others? I see none. We'll take it to a vote. The vote is now open. Oh, okay, sorry. Motion passes. Next up on our agenda, we have unfinished business. We have none. And Councillor Kilmer. Thank you. Not on. Vote is open. Fair enough. Okay, so the meeting will be adjourned. We can come back at 5, I think, if that's okay.